Barabashka KVN. Where code meets clarity. Every time.